Are you ready to move to Sioux Falls? Welcome back to another episode of Move to Sioux Falls. My name's Albert Heising, and we had the pleasure of talking with Adam Broin, co-founder of Cufflinks.com. And we got to talk a little bit about why he moved here, how he started his business, and why he was late this morning. So if you enjoy this episode, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get into it. And then she was just like, let's try it. Like, let's just try it.
Okay.
And tried it one time. Then the shutdown like really happened for everyone. Because I feel like some of our companies were like early adopters in South Dakota.
Yeah.
I remember the day it was Pi Day because my sister-in-law got married that day. And then literally the next day I went full remote, and Kayla the following Monday went full remote.
Right.
So we did it, had a booking right in March, and then full shutdown happened like April, and we were like crickets. And we're like, this is not working. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? May hits, everyone's trying to travel, do work remote, and like we just started paying off student loans, any car debt we had, all of it gone. And we're like, oh, this is nice. Then Kayla's parents asked us like, hey, we just bought a bar. There's an apartment on top of it. You guys want to flip it and manage it?
Okay.
And then a couple of people in YPN at the Young Professionals Network just like, they heard of it and
Yeah.
they started asking us to do it for them. And
Gotcha.
then just kind of word of mouth marketing just kind of flowed.
Gotcha.
So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Interesting.
Our first real client was like from Turkey. Or no, she taught English in Turkey.
Okay.
So she was like hands off.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Okay, I'm leaving. Someone needs to sell this. Someone's gonna
Yeah.
have to figure this out."
And she was in like
Yeah.
the McKinnon Park area. So she's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to sell this. It's going to be worth tons later. So
Yeah. It's
great area.
such a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, and it's I mean, with all the construction going on there over there too, it's like continuing to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's construction everywhere in Sioux Falls.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Cool.
It's crazy.
Okay, dude, you got to tell me fender bender. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, so this
were
is
you running late? Were you like, oh crap, I forgot about this again?
no. So it happened earlier this morning, like not like on the way here.
Okay.
It was my neighbor must be doing some work, and the contractor parked a like dumpster trailer
Okay. Yeah.
out in the street, right? And so I'm pulling out like 6:45, and it's still dark, and it's a black trailer in the
man.
dark, and it was like a matte black too, right? Obviously I probably could have been paying attention more. I would have seen it too. So like it's my fault.
You were
But
still sleeping.
There weren't any marker lights on it or reflectors or anything. So yeah, so I backed into this thing. Fortunately, it was high enough that it hit my window.
Okay.
And so I just got to replace a window instead of like my old like tailgate or something on my
Still,
SUV. So-
windows are expensive, I feel like, in today's
yeah,
day
this
and
one had
age,
like the
so-
heat stripping in it and stuff too, so I'm sure it won't be cheap. Yeah, but yeah, so then so I was stopping by after a breakfast meeting. I was stopping by an auto body shop to like have them talk it and take a look.
Yeah.
right? And they took like way longer than I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I gotta go, guy. Like this is
Yeah.
so
I got a schedule, man.
yeah.
So where'd
Yeah.
you go?
Yeah. I went by Ultimate Automotive.
Okay. Yeah. They're great. They the
They
guys
don't
who
do
own
body,
the
though.
place do go to my church. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're nice guys.
Yeah, a friend of mine, because I do some like grassroots volunteer political stuff,
Yeah.
and a friend of mine through that, he works there. He used to be a pastor. He's a cool guy.
Oh, awesome.
But they don't do body work, so it took them a little while to explain that to me.
Okay.
So I'm like, what do you like?
But is a window body work?
I guess they would consider that
What?
out of their purview. So,
Really? Okay.
which is fine. Like everyone's got their
Yeah.
specialty. I'd rather they turn down the work.
Marv's is good to go
then
to if you
take
want
it.
if you need another recommendation. So
I've heard a few people like I might have to.
Marv's
try
is a
that
good
out.
one. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Or
Yeah. what a pain though.
the best one that I've gone to is
Mm-hmm.
Arrowhead Automotive over on the east side there.
Oh, yeah.
That's just by like the meat locker on the east side, right before you get to the old
Meat Locker on the east side.
what's that bar?
I go to Render
Um,
Corner for me, so I don't know any other
okay.
meat lockers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think it's like Ed's Meat. meet.
Oh, out by the Alibi.
Out by the Alibi. That's the bar I was looking to say. The old Alibi
That's
corner.
telling about me. They're like, oh, that's the one who knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say hands down, they like always have the best price in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
and then, yeah, I think I got something fixed and it was supposed to be like $2,300 and they were charging me like $1,500. And I'm like, I have a friend who like fixes up trucks for fun.
Okay.
And just like soups them up.
Yeah.
And I call him. I was like, hey, is this legit? He's like, dude, I would take that deal right away. I was like, all right.
And they did good work?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do great work.
All right.
I was like, I'm a client forever. I
have to try it out.
To get there. I have to go get an oil change there soon. So.
All right. Well, it looks like I'm heading east after this podcast then.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Cody or Chris. So easy. Two C names. Like
Cody and Chris.
You'll call him and be like, hey, this is Cody. And you're just like, hey, try to get something fixed. All right, come in.
Yeah.
So
totally. You
got to write it down. You're like, I got to write this down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a planner guy.
We've never had anyone plan on the channel, so I love it.
I think better with a pen and paper, man.
I agree. So Arrowhead Automotive on the east side. That's a #1 recommendation I would have for you.
Nice. All right.
For auto body stuff and mechanical stuff. So
yeah. Sweet. It's a plan.
Cool.
It's a plan.
So we're here on the Move to Sioux Falls podcast in the Ziggy. In the Ziggy.
The Ziggy.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the
there's a nice little sign there. Yeah. So and I'm a realtor that does Move to Sioux Falls. My wife and I run Sodex Days. That's why we're here in the short-term rental.
Gotcha.
But like I told you, real estate's not just about the next transaction or another transaction of just like buying or selling. It's about educating people, knowing who's in your community, knowing what's going on in the community to make a decision if you want to come here, if you want to be a part of that community.
Right.
So Adam Broin, we have you on just to, you're another face in the community.
Yeah.
And you're doing something really cool with Cufflinks.com since you're the founder and CEO of that. So we're just going to start off by doing some HitFire questions, just like first answer things, and then we'll kind of get into the real meat and potatoes of the interview. So
great.
Cool.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Okay. So first thing, super easy. What is your favorite go-to food?
My favorite go-to food?
Yeah.
I just got a big green egg smoker last summer.
Oh.
And I played around with it last summer and it was kind of hit and miss. But this year, like, I wouldn't say I'm like talented. There's meat artisans out there, right? But I've got it going well enough that I can predictably make food that's great to eat, right?
Yeah.
So that right there.
Just going to the smoker and smoking some meat.
Yeah, so I'll go up to Renner Corner and order a half a cow.
Okay.
Fill my freezer, and then just whatever's on top of the freezer is what we're thawing out and cooking that weekend.
Hey, side fact, interesting fact. Kayla, actually, her parents run 30,000 hog operation.
Really?
So we get hog all the time, and then I broke my smoker. But I would agree, smoking is like the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have a meter thermometer, that's like one of the best things to get.
Like that's like wireless or something?
Yeah, it's a wireless thing that goes to your phone and then it notifies you, hey, the meat's at the right temperature, take it off for the rest time, and then it goes right to the exact temperature. If you want rare, medium.
Interesting.
My wife got it for a Father's Day gift, so maybe just throw that over to your partner.
There you go. So, fun fact about me, after I graduated from Augustana for physics, my first job out of school was an industrial automations engineer out in California.
Whoa.
So I spent a lot of time working on a very complicated system, measuring like airflows and temperatures and like open this valve and close that valve and adjust this damper.
For sure.
All sorts of stuff, right? Fascinating field of work. Very interesting. At the time I thought I had found my calling, right? But then it turns out like to stay in that industry, you got to move around every couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay. Like my wife and I want to settle down and have a family. We want to like,
I'm not here to climb the corporate ladder.
Yeah. We don't want to move every 3 years.
Yeah.
But you can make a great career out of it. But anyways, after working in that, right, there's so much complexity in a system like that that I've really become a Luddite. And so my temperature probe that I use, on my meat is like the simplest possible one.
Oh,
Like,
gotcha.
it's like mechanical. You stick it in there, just leave it in there.
You got like
Open
this
it
big
back
old
up.
wire coming out of it or something.
Not even a wire, it's just a big gauge that's sticking
Oh,
out of the meat.
okay. There
I
you
got
go.
one of the wire ones too. But yeah, like anything with like the phone connection, the Bluetooth, like
You're like, I'm a physics guy, but I'm out on all that
I'm
stuff.
like, yeah, I used to do that for work. That's enough. Like, I'm tired of troubleshooting things. I just want something like as simple as possible, nice and stable, like something that's like 100-year-old technology.
Okay.
That I know it's.
I feel like
I know it's
there is
tested.
a movement to go back to that, like old school, like pen and paper. Like I just started writing Bible verses out.
Right.
Can learn so much more. Like I feel like I just like there's a verse I just picked up in like 3 or 4 days because I'm like, oh, I wrote this out a couple of times and I said it a couple of times, and it's better than just like looking at a screen or having it audio said to you for some odd reason.
Well, I think it speaks to like just the way like the human brain works and human attention.
Yeah.
And I think the social dilemma, that documentary that came out a few years back, and it has everyone thinking now about like, hey, like this phone is really designed to monetize my short attention span.
Yeah.
And shorten it even more. And it's like, okay, like some things like church, I bring a paper Bible now.
Yeah.
Because like if I bring my phone and use the app, right, where
You
I can
get
like highlight
distracted.
things and stuff, and then I get a notification, then I'm like, oh, there's the app for my church small group. I'm thinking about that since I'm sitting in the pew, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I'm like, no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you're like, oh, the
Like-
pastor's talking about Timothy, and we were in John already, and how do we get here?
Yeah, I'm like, what am I here for? Am I here to just like catch up on notifications
For
while
sure.
someone's talking at me, or like, so it's like at that point I might as well just like stay home and sit on the couch and stare at my phone.
Okay, so we veered off from HitFire a little bit, but let's just I'm trying to rein us back.
Yeah, you'll have to do that with me a lot. I
No,
get
that's
excited
okay.
about it.
Favorite place in Sioux Falls to go to?
Oh, there's so many good ones. I love Looks Meat Market. Has some
Okay.
incredible food. The way they serve up all the meals outside of the kitchen is a little distracting to me. So as
sure.
far as ambiance, I don't know if I love that place, but the food is so good.
Yeah.
And the people that run it are fantastic people.
For sure.
That's a fantastic one.
Great
But
family-friendly place too.
I've got a few favorites, but I'd say that's right up
Looks. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Favorite hobby? I kind of go. I'm trying to shift you into a corner of like what couple of different things.
there. Yeah. So
Don't say
Boy.
running.
no, not anymore.
Okay,
Not anymore.
good.
I used to be big into running.
Oh, okay.
But it's not. Is everyone else into running that you have on the podcast?
No. I'm just not a big runner. So
I used to be. I was actually I placed 15th in state back in 2005.
Okay.
Before 2004, I was the co-captain of the Washington High School cross country team.
oh, nice.
And now I have a regular gym habit, and my personal trainer knows that I like hate cardio. I'm like, I've had enough of that. Kind of like the technology thing we were talking about earlier. I've had enough of that. Like
You're just like, let's lift some heavy weights.
yeah. I've weighed 140 pounds most of my life. Like I'd like to weigh a lot more. So yeah. So which is good. I'm almost to my like new goal. But
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
Yes.
Favorite hobby?
Favorite
Would
hobby,
you say working out?
not
or,
running.
Okay.
Not running.
Not running.
Probably working out is up there, as well as pheasant hunting, especially this time.
Okay.
Of year. Oh, it's so fun.
See, I
so
haven't
fun. It's
I haven't
great.
gotten into the like whole allure of like hunting, but I've had a friend come up to me and be like, "Hey, you want to go hunting with me?" And I was like, I would go with you if I know how to bushcraft and make like a hut for us. And he's like, "Great. You learn that, and then if I kill an elk or a deer or a pheasant or anything, you're hauling it all because you're way stronger than me." And I was like, why would I come then, dude? You're gonna make me do all the work, and all you gotta do is sit there and shoot something.
Yeah. It's I mean, I think it's one of those things you have to. I mean, I know people who've gotten into it as adults without any prior experience.
For sure.
But it's a lot easier if you got someone to kind of show you and bring you into it.
I think if I get into bushcrafting, it'll slowly start to be like, because Kayla and I are going to try to start a homestead here. with like a big garden, do chickens. But I think
Like rural or like urban?
rural. Well,
Gotcha.
who knows? We might be like in joint jurisdiction of like Minnehaha or Lincoln County. Just I
Gotcha.
haven't found the spot yet to like.
Okay.
I mean, home prices are so crazy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just think give me a couple of years homesteading, and I'll probably be like, you know what? Let's kill the animals we eat. You know,
Yeah.
I might be able to get into it then.
Yeah. Yeah. I've for me, it's just pheasant hunting. That's the only kind of hunting I've ever done.
Okay.
Except once I went on one duck hunt trip when I was like a little kid, with Jeff Prey, who's insurance salesman here in town.
Cool.
Great guy.
Did
Family
you just
friend.
use the duck signal?
He did. I just shot. I just sat there with my shotgun.
Okay.
I was like 13 years old.
Is it normally like shotgun to get birds? Is it like
Yeah.
for pheasants and because
Yeah.
it just sprays and hopefully it hits them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You don't want to use a rifle and be like, wow, that was a great
No,
shot.
Yeah, no. Well, and there's a control, and there's a safety thing too, right? Like how far it will go.
Oh,
You don't know
true.
where that's going to wind up.
See, I'm
Be very
completely
safety
inexperienced.
conscious.
So
yeah, you'd hate for anything bad to happen. So you got to be like, but yeah, it's good.
Cool.
I haven't done any other kind though. So I got a friend who's into it who I'm like, okay, take me with next time because I've never done any of this other kind of hunting, right? So
that's awesome.
but I figure being from South Dakota, if there's one kind of hunting to do in the pheasant capital of the world.
yeah, it would be phassant hunting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
there you go.
Yeah.
So, I feel like we should just move past HitFire because these have just been great conversations anyway. So we appreciate you joining us for this episode of Move to Sioux Falls. Your support means a lot to us. Make sure to follow and subscribe at Move to Sioux Falls to stay up with the latest content. I think my first big question, because I try to make it authentic. I try not to remember what the guests tell me, like where they're from or how they got here, so it just feels like the right thing. But I was like looking at the socials, trying to figure out who's this Adam guy and how does he own Cufflinks.com? And then I was like, okay, you went to Augie, and I literally found your birthday on Facebook, and that was basically it. So
yeah,
tell us who you are, maybe a little bit about your story. Did you grow up here, move away, come back, all that stuff, just the whole kind of gambit, and then we'll ask a couple other questions after that. So
I grew up in Sioux Falls since the first grade.
Okay.
My parents were moving around for work and settled here. Because of
probably
business.
physicists, they had to move around for work a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the business they were building needed a home base, and instead of moving from project to project. So I've been here since the first grade. After I graduated from Augustana, my wife and I got married, and I moved out to California to be an industrial automations engineer in the biomass industry. So that's renewable energy from waste wood.
Okay.
Which they got a lot of there, hence all the forest fires, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole thing about forest management in California that we
don't
need to get into.
Two sisters live in California, so I kind of know it pretty well.
But it creates a lot of there's a lot of tragic things with that hopefully that's a part of fixing, right? So so we did that for a few years, and then I wound up in ag equipment supply chain for a few years. And then my brothers had both just finished college, and we're looking at hey, what are we going to do together?
So you guys knew you wanted to work together.
Yeah, we'd always kind of thought about this, right? Because we saw our dad and his brothers doing business together, which was
cool,
great inspiration to us, right? Some incredible shadow to grow up under with those three men and the way that they carried themselves and the way they did their business, right? Yeah. So getting to hear that around the dinner table was fascinating, and so then we started looking at businesses to acquire. We found. So we came up with a list of what we were looking for, right? A business that's about this size, and it needs to have these needs that fit our areas of expertise.
Yeah, our skill sets,
right?
For sure. And this is how much revenue it should come in, and then it's like, how do we scale this to like get
Right.
bigger?
Right. Yeah. And like, how much do we want to spend? So let's not buy like $100 million business.
Yeah,
Right?
of
Like,
course.
No, thank you. So, right. So the first one that we found that actually fit all those, and we could come to a deal with the owner on. I feel like I moved my arm around here.
That's okay.
That we could come to a deal with the owner on was based out of Dallas, Texas. It was
Okay.
Cufflinks.com. It had been a .com startup
Okay.
from 1999. It was founded in 99.
Whoa.
And you can go back and see it on the internet Wayback Machine. It was like early e-commerce, like one of the
Adopter,
first
yeah.
e-commerce businesses out there, right? And so so we acquired the business, moved down to Dallas, learned the ropes, and then eventually made the determination that Sioux Falls would be a better home for it.
Yeah. So you and your wife and your brothers all moved down there? Or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Did your brothers live with you guys?
We had apartments in the same
Oh, okay.
complex, so,
Okay.
yeah.
That's got to be a fun time.
Yeah, so we had meals together. They weren't like across the hall,
Yeah.
like in Friends. That would have been cool,
For sure.
right? But yeah, it was great. It was a fun time. Uptown Dallas, beautiful area. So if you're not moving to Sioux Falls, move to Uptown Dallas. It's a great
Okay.
area.
Gotcha. I mean, I probably Texas would be a
Yeah.
good second option.
Oh, it's
so.
fantastic. Yeah. So eventually we decided to relocate it up here for a few different reasons. And one of the things that we were really impressed with was just the quality of people here
Yeah.
as far as employees go. Right. And we had some great people down in Dallas. I still have one of them on staff today. Wonderful woman who works for us. But as far as revamping the organization
Yeah.
up here, we've just been impressed with the people, the work ethic, the attitudes.
Unemployment rate, tax cuts.
Well, yeah. The unemployment rate's low, which makes it hard
to find good people.
But we've I think we've been very blessed in that regards.
Good.
The right people have come at the right times for us.
Cool.
And so so I've had some chances to work with some really talented people on my team, and now I've got a team that really works well together, and it's an exciting time
That's
for us.
awesome.
Yeah.
How did this kind of like poses into the next question? Like, how did you shift your business from like old school, early adopter e-commerce into now Cufflinks.com, and it's like new and revamped? Like, how did you kind of differentiate once you got the business and now social media is a thing and all this stuff?
Well, it was at first it seemed a little underwhelming to the current employees because we were just like took roles within the business and we're just going to learn, we're just going to observe, we're just going to see how it operates, right?
Yeah.
But after a time, we kind of figured out like, okay, exactly what we wanted to do, and it's just a step by step, man. Going
Yeah.
through the marketing, rewriting the website. I think the big thing has been just paying up tech debt. so to
Oh,
speak.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
revamping the website, moving from an old platform to Shopify. Big shout out to Shopify. They're an amazing partner for us.
That's awesome.
And coming up with some more modern approaches to Amazon selling has
For
really
sure.
helped us out a lot. And then just continuing to have good relationships with our other
Yeah.
wholesale partners too.
Dude, I wish I could put like, if I was selling a house, I wish I could put it on Shopify. It would be just so fun.
I bet you could do that.
I mean,
I don't see why not.
I feel like there's a lot of legal hoops to jump through. So, I mean, hey, if Shopify wants to reach out and figure it out how to do it with me, I'll take on the challenge. So,
Super. There you
yeah.
go.
So, who's been like I mean, you sell cufflinks. Are there
Yes.
other products you sell besides cufflinks? And then also, who's been like your biggest like buyer? Have you been like, dude, that guy's a billionaire? Or like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So there's a few collectors around North America
Okay.
that repeatedly buy from us. And one of
Are you allowed to say their name or not really?
I don't know if I should.
Okay.
I don't know if I should. I want
Okay.
to be respectful of them.
You
right?
could just say
But
like,
I appreciate
wealthy.
appreciate some of those clients, right?
Yeah.
Because because they got a passion for the product, a passion for like what it really stands for, right? Because men don't have a lot of things like that, right? Like
For
we make
sure.
it like earrings and the necklaces, right? And a lot of guys wear that too, right? But there's just kind of something special. I think men tend to express themselves more through their hands too.
For sure.
And so that's why, right? Like even in an era of smartphones, like people still spend big money on nice watches.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's another piece kind of like that you don't really get a lot of those extra panaches as a man.
For
and
sure.
This is one that like really fits the general spirit for most guys.
Yeah, I like how you said that. Like you guys do use their hands. Like even
Right.
my video crew has always told me like, dude, stop moving your hands so much. Like just relax when you're on camera. But then when you move your hand, you're like, oh, hey, my cufflink just showed or something. So
Right.
I should have worn a button-up shirt and been like, hey, let's get some cufflinks in.
We should have planned this out. I'm not wearing cufflinks today.
Okay,
I'm a bad spokesperson right now. But I wear them a lot. You can wear them with any convertible shirt. So
This is what we'll do.
yeah.
Before the episode drops, I'll go to your house or something and we'll get like a cufflink picture and it'll be the cover photo for like the thumbnail.
Perfect. Beautiful.
There we go.
Beautiful. So other than that product, we also do neckties.
Okay.
We do a lot of licensing work. We work with some big brands. You can see them on our website, right?
Okay.
Always kind of rotating who we're working with.
Gotcha.
So we've got some fantastic names that we get to work with and represent their product through the work we do as well.
See,
as well as having like more classic.
I'm like interested to know like licensing deals. Like, you know, you go on Shark Tank and you see like Mr. Wonderful up there and you're like, hey, I can license this product. Is it just like you are working with like other companies that like have like, here's an example, like Disney, right? Like you could have Disney and you can put their characters on and they pay you. Do they pay you a certain amount to put their image on your product?
It's the other way.
It's the other way. Okay.
So they own that intellectual property.
Yes.
And we're renting space on that intellectual property.
But don't you own the cufflink?
We work with a variety. Yes. Yeah, we do. So it's our sale. It's our inventory. It's our product, right?
Gotcha.
But when we make that sale, and it varies from licensor to licensor. So I don't want to get into specifics because some of that's, but usually there's usually, depending on the licensor, there's a bit of a like flat fee, just for their processing.
Yes.
Everything.
Okay.
And then there's like a percentage.
And but it should, if you do a deal, it should kind of skyrocket your sales a bit.
Yeah. And that's depending on the brand, in the ballpark from as low as 7% all the way up to 20%.
Okay.
And so there's a wide range.
Do you try to look for those lower ones that are like lower cost, more bang for your buck though? Just depends.
It depends.
Situation.
Depends on the situation.
Yeah.
If it's a brand that everybody knows, right?
Yeah.
Then, well, if we can make the margins work, we'll do it, right? But there's some pretty, tight margins at that at the upper end, but we still find a way to make it work. So
okay, so let's just we're not gonna make this all about cufflinks, but I'll appreciate that. This is really cool information. I think you're doing something that's really cool. It's national. Do you sell worldwide or?
We're dipping our toes in international.
Okay.
We had a fantastic bilingual woman who worked for us for a while who was able to like translate a lot of things into Spanish.
Gotcha.
Very grateful for her and the work she was doing for us. So we've got listings in all sorts of places.
And you manufacture here in the U.S.?
Yeah. And and we're dipping our toe. No, some.
Okay.
Some in the U.S., some in Southeast Asia,
okay,
Central Asia,
gotcha,
and a little bit in Brazil too.
Okay.
So,
trying
to continue to play with that.
I was gonna say, if Trump gets in, I think he's doing like tariffs on if you manufacture abroad.
Yeah.
So that
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The trick has been finding the right partner for some of the things we do.
Okay.
And so just the certain manufacturing processes and stuff. If anyone out there is looking to get into an industrial business in South Dakota, reach out.
Yeah.
Because depending on what processes you want to take on, there might be something there. Spending quite a bit with a lot of factories that aren't in the U.S. I'd love to see that here as an American, but I've got some talented partners that I work with too. So it works out
for sure. I think I can't remember his name. His name's Peter. I I can't remember his last name, does Rink Rabbit at starts.
Peter Hawk.
Peter
Yes.
Hawk. So he got into Rink Rabbit, and he said his biggest thing is when he manufactures overseas is like the import tax.
Mm.
And then I think he like pays an additional tax on top of that. And like there's this guy from SCORE who's like a wizard at import tax and is like, oh, that can cancel out if you report it this way or you have this type of like merchandise number or something. And so he helped Peter out on like mitigating that import tax.
Right.
And I was like, whoa. And that's like one little piece of your business, and it probably takes you like weeks to figure out how to get that all like situated. So it's impressive, man. As all I'm saying is like to do stuff internationally. Like I don't know if I could do that.
yeah. It's got its idiosyncrasies and complexities.
Sure. Yeah. So Sioux Falls. Let's kind of move or shift gears into Sioux Falls.
Yes.
So you grew up here.
I did.
Left, moved to Texas. And then you said, hey, we want to be in Sioux Falls. You said a lot of it was due to home base for the business.
Mm-hmm.
Was there also like family that came into play? Like, hey, we grew up here, or hey, mom and dad are here, or like things of that nature as well?
I mean, for my wife and I, we met at Augustana.
Okay.
Right. And we kind of always knew we wanted to settle down in Sioux Falls someday.
Okay.
We always knew we wanted to raise our family here. Right. It's a very, very faith-centered community. Yeah. It's very family-oriented. I had a wonderful childhood here. I've always been impressed by the town and the people and the culture. And so, yeah. So now we have 3 daughters, right? And raising them here in Sioux Falls, it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So it's kind of come full circle where you're like, hey, this is a great place to raise family. Now you have 3 daughters. It's like, oh, this is a great place.
Yes.
What are some things you've seen in Sioux Falls since you've been here since you were like, you said first grade, right? Was it first grade you said you got here to Sioux Falls?
Yeah.
I know you moved away a little bit, but let's just say you were here first grade. What have you seen since like first grade? And Sioux Falls is always growing like a hot wildfire. But like, what have you seen that you're like, wow, I'm really impressed that Sioux Falls got X, Y, or Z since being here from first grade on?
I'd say the downtown revitalization.
Okay.
Right. Because in first grade, it was like 1992 or something like that. A little math I'd have to do there. Early 90s anyways.
Okay.
And so at the time, the downtown, they had problems with people cruising the loop.
Dude, I don't even know what the loop is, but everyone talks about it.
Yeah, it was a whole thing, right? It was back when car culture was huge.
Okay.
It was huge, right? And the first Fast and the Furious movie had come out around then, I think. I might be getting my dates right.
I think that's like 2000.
We need a Jamie here to fact check me, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Fact check that, Jamie. So anyways, yeah, so it was just so to go from that, right? And I know there's some issues with that, and then put in the sculpture walk and connect downtown to Sioux Falls, right, all the way to Falls Park.
For sure.
The Levitt Pavilion. My mother sat on the board of that for 10 years to get that up and going. Very proud of her.
Wow.
And the work that everyone involved has done. It's a fantastic boon for the community.
That's awesome.
All the free concerts and event center there. And so I think the downtown really has come so far since I was a kid. It wasn't too long ago, right? We had the parking ramp on top of the river next to Schoeneman's lumber location. And now that's all like these
gone
beautiful properties, right?
For sure.
Right. And
we're getting an ice skating rink too. So
that's what I hear. Although I hear it keeps getting kicked around.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll happen still.
The trick is with how big hockey is getting in Sioux Falls, we're kind of late to the game compared to other
I think so.
Other upper Midwest towns.
Yeah. And Mayor Paul talked about like we need to utilize winter's resources anyways to monetize something to like for the city.
And to get people outside, man.
Oh,
I think it's terrible for someone to stay inside all winter, right?
Dude,
you just have to. You just have to get outside or you're going to go crazy. You're not going to get enough sunlight. You're not going to get enough fresh air. And,
for sure.
Yeah. you're gonna get really grouchy come springtime.
There's
Living this far north, you just have to.
Yeah. I'm
break
kind
the
of
mold.
I'm kind of a weirdo with like, non-toxic stuff but I just heard that if you go outside right in the morning and you get the sunlight in your eyes, it like boosts your vitamin D up so much that like your cortisol levels balance so that you like have like a nice ramp through the day and then it's back down at night. I was like, okay. And then like last year, my wife and I during the winter, we went on a walk every single day, even like during snowstorms.
Like first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning.
Okay.
And it like I think seasonal depression is a thing, but I was like, I feel way better about my life the whole winter doing that.
Well, I'm sure what's driving it is lack of sunlight, lack of fresh air.
And some exercise.
cardio.
Yeah. So yeah, I think being outside is like just like pen and paper, man. Like we talked about, like we got to go back to a little bit of old school stuff.
Well, and I think the pendulum of society always swings that way, right? And so
Sure.
and so we got these incredible new technologies, right? And then we're like, okay, but we're going to use cell phones to like pay for parking and order pizzas. And it's like, okay, at some point, what's like, and maybe those are good things, right? But like, what's a good use? What isn't?
Yeah.
And how do you do that in a way that you're not spending more time looking at your phone than you
Are interacting
gaining
with people
from it?
Yeah.
What interactions are you losing out on? Right.
For sure.
So, I especially, Instagram gets me. I'm such an Instagram addict. Like, and it'll show me like one interesting thing. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm learning something, but it's like 3 seconds and you're not actually digging in it in your research,
Yeah.
right? And so then you go down this rabbit hole of like, I learned 47 new things, none of which I retained. And I have no real understanding of these. And 6 hours went by, right? Well, maybe not 6, right? An hour went by in my life that I didn't get anything accomplished.
For
I
sure.
could have read a book. I could have like interacted with people. Yeah.
Dude, that is one thing. Like
Yeah.
I like chunk my time up into like hours throughout the day,
Mhm.
an hour. And I was like, hey, if I could get an hour of working out, hour of like devotional and walking, an hour of like reading. I feel like once I get to like the 4 to 6 hour mark, and then like I'm working on my computer or laptop the other 6 to 8 hours, I feel a lot better than like, oh, I'm doing maybe an hour or two of that stuff and then like 12 hours of working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. And I think a little bit of time management like that.
yeah,
like, I feel
it's a hard
more
balance
productive,
for
more
sure.
focused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so are your kids in school or are they?
Yeah, they
Okay.
are. Yeah, I got a third grader and a kindergartner and a baby at home. Yeah.
Okay. So
Not quite a baby anymore. She's turning 2 soon. So.
oh yeah, dude. Once you're 1, you're a toddler. That's what I've heard. So
Is it really? Okay.
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
so I have a toddler at home.
There you go.
Yeah.
Where they go to
chaos.
school?
Sioux Falls Christian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We're thinking about sending our kids to Sioux Falls Christian. We might homeschool for a little bit though, just to
Yeah.
kind of get them into. I don't know what they're called. Like there's like homeschooling groups where they can go like 2 days a week to a homeschooling thing, and then we can teach them a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I've got some close friends that do it, and they've
okay.
great success with it.
Yeah, and
Kids are
yeah.
wonderful, well-adjusted, great manners.
Yeah.
Look you in the eye when they talk to you, even
For
though
sure.
you're 5-10 times their age, right?
Yeah, you're like, I think that's where the stigma of like homeschoolers are weird, where you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, they're a little weird. Because I feel like because they're usually talking to adults more at a much earlier age until they get to like 7th or 8th grade. And then they go, oh, I'm going to talk to a bunch of these people that are the same age as me.
Right.
I think that's why they have like a social awkwardness, but they're usually way smarter than normal, like normal go to school 8 to
Right.
3.
Well, I think with anything you get out of it what you put into it,
For sure.
So
Yeah.
mad respect to the parents that like have the time and energy and focus to do that though. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to ask you my last question here because
Okay.
I feel like I've gotten a wealth of knowledge from you, man, and it's been awesome to hear. What would be the top 3 things that you would bring to Sioux Falls if budget wasn't an issue?
If budget wasn't an issue,
Yeah.
could we just eliminate all taxes? That'd be the great one. Just
I guess.
Dubai of the North, no taxes.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we just have really bad roads and really bad school systems and really bad
You said if budget wasn't an issue.
Yeah, budget's not an issue.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Actually, if you don't have a budget, then you're fine. Yeah.
Obviously we need those kind of things.
True,
right?
true. Taxes is a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'd be that. I mean, it's already a very business friendly environment. I love love that, and I love that allows people such as your wife and yourself to like start businesses
For sure.
from scratch so easily here. Right. That's awesome. That's huge to me. And then other than that, I mean, right now we need more hockey rinks. And my kids don't even play hockey, but I got friends whose kids do, and they're like driving up to Brookings for practices at like 5 a.m. and stuff.
Wow.
It's crazy right now.
Dude, I would tell my kids, sorry, you're not playing hockey. Choose a different sport.
And then what else? You said this was the hardest question you sent me. I don't know what the third would be. I mean, I think we've got a lot of great things going for us as a community. I know that Mayor Paul has really been talking about more like general family indoor play space with a project that he's been talking about on the river there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Manufacturer plant, just so you could do cufflinks.
Yeah, if someone wants to start a brass and sterling silver casting facility here in Sioux Falls, that would
you got a client right away.
Yeah, that'd be huge for me. So,
I wonder if Rock Valley has something like that in Iowa. They do a lot of steel stuff.
I used to be in ag equipment supply chain.
Yeah.
So I used to buy from northwestern Iowa quite a bit.
Okay.
And I talked to a few people I knew there, and it's not quite in their wheelhouse.
Oh, gotcha.
A little outside.
Okay, they're not
outside of their scope. They're doing much more like big plate steel, laser cut, brake press, weldments, that kind of stuff. Very agricultural manufacturing focus.
Okay.
Which is huge for the area, right? It's very important.
Yeah.
Right? But
I feel like your biggest challenge, if you got a manufacturing steel place that you would need.
Yeah.
And I don't know the whole term you said there, but because you're the expert. But I feel like your biggest challenge would be workers. Like the amount of workers you would need to run that facility, right?
I think it'd be tricky. I'd probably do it outside of Sioux Falls in a rural community where people are looking for jobs, right?
Like a Beersford or like a Brookings or Flandreau or something like that, like some rural.
Yeah, probably. But
Madison, Wisconsin. Madison could be a good spot.
Yeah. I haven't
Have
really
you teetered the idea of actually starting it yourself?
I had a few conversations about it, but I got enough. I got enough irons in the fire. I got enough things to focus on. I need less things to focus on and do what I'm doing well. Yeah. But if I found the right partner who could really take it on, then maybe not. Cool. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell if that ever turns into something.
Okay, so big fun fact for you as we wrap up. I have a book coming out called Not Just Another Transaction. Okay. It's a guide for home buyers, home sellers, investors for single family homes. So gotcha. I'll get it over to you. It's going to be free ebook download, or if you want a physical copy, it's a purchase. Okay. But it'll be on Amazon. Maybe I should do it on Shopify. Maybe. I don't know Shopify. But the people can find you at cufflinks.com, Instagram apparently.
Yeah.
And then
I'm trying to quit that one, but
quit that off. So just reach out to you on your website is what you're saying.
I'm on LinkedIn under my name, Adam Broin. Okay. And then cufflinks.com is where my whole business is run out of.
Okay.
So.
And then you have a panel coming up here, right?
Yeah. So I worked with a consultant earlier this year, Daniel Eppinga, Digital Culture Architects. Okay. And they're putting on a whole business education summit.
Awesome.
Next month.
Next month.
So I'm going to be one of the panelists there.
12 or 13.
There's a reason I carry a planner around.
Okay.
I'm not the guy to ask. I'm remembering dates.
Well, hey, we'll try to throw up on a short or something quick for you, by next week or 2 weeks from now. So, get that out there before the episode drops though. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, dude. Okay. It's been awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We're good. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Move to Sioux Falls. Don't forget to follow and subscribe at Move to Sioux Falls for the latest content, and we'll see you next time.